Good evening, everybody, and happy Friday, first of all, and happy new moon in Gemini. All right, so what does new moon in Gemini mean? Everyone thinks of Gemini and they panic because they're like split personality and they think of all the negative traits of Gemini, but I'm here to also give you some of the positive traits of Gemini. All right, with the moon being in Gemini and being a new moon means that it's totally dark outside, we can't see anything, and it is basically a clean slate. It's like, I always think of it as like closing your eyes before you get a surprise and then being able to open them. That darkness that you see, and then you see other things come to light afterwards. So the moon starts growing again after new moon now. You'll see the little sliver begin, and then it starts growing back into its fullness. So when it's waned, which means it starts going away and becoming new moon, we then see closing off of cycles. This is a clean slate. It's like a blackboard. If you think of the black moon, you think of a blackboard, and now you get to write new things there and create new things. Okay, this is very mental and analytical and enterprising kind of energy. So if you want to embody it and you want to understand the energy of Gemini, then these are people who like to work with the public at large. It's about reaching out, and like my post said early in the week, about communicating and learning not just to communicate and understand communication as us speaking to somebody, but also listening and receiving and being able to be receptive and attentive to what somebody's saying to us, and maybe we can learn something from them. All right, so speaking all the time is not always very constructive, but being still and listening and being receptive can actually be very beneficial, especially at this time, because there could be energy around us or information or people that can help us that can come up. And if we just keep quiet and listen, they could really be helpful and beneficial to us. Okay, so the focus here is on communication and expansion and mental absorption, and also the media and the arts. So these people like to be involved in television and radio and the arts, sometimes drama, that kind of thing. Again, when they're dealing with the public and they multitaskers, they can do more than one thing at a time. So this is this time when you maybe feel like you are required to do more than one thing at a time. It may be a little bit overwhelming, and it really might feel as if everything's up in the air right now and you feel really confused and everything's happening at once. But this is when this energy is moving out. Everything becomes very tumultuous, very hectic, but it's pushing certain things out. And sometimes it needs to push us to our limits for us to also cut things off or say, I can't do this today, or I'm not dealing with this right now. And perhaps we've been reluctant to do that in the past because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings, or because we are always taking on other people's burdens. And this kind of pressure that we're feeling causes us to say no for a change. And that is coming from a place of self-preservation and having compassion for ourselves as well, and bringing healing for ourselves by actually saying no, or just not being able to get around to something because we find it overwhelming, and perhaps that's not an important task for us. All right, so these people, like I said, they're very adaptable. So this is about having to adapt, it's about diversifying, and it's also about being very studious and enterprising, like I say, skillful and communicative and changeable. So see what's going on around you. Be perceptive to what's going on around you, the messages coming in, the people around you, the information they can impart, and knowledge and wisdom they can impart, because right now is a really good time to be receptive of that. Okay, so let's get on with it. I'm going to use some of my past life cards here to ask what areas of our lives we must focus on or are going to be affected at the moment. All right, I thought that might be quite interesting. I've done it before. It worked out quite nicely. So the nature of these cards is a little bit different, but I want to see what kind of messages we get out of curiosity. And for, focus. Where should we be focusing? What are we not focusing on or trying to avoid? Because some of these cards are not all just nice things that we deal with. Okay, it's also the more difficult things that we deal with. So I'm asking for one card at a time, please. What areas of our lives will be highlighted right now that we have to pay attention to? And paying attention to it may mean that you need to deal with something. Okay. or ask for advice. Be communicative, be attentive, listen. Phobias. Okay, very interesting. So, what do you have a phobia about? What is it that really bothers you? Are you feeling claustrophobic around people, or have you got a specific phobia about something? I hate dealing with this. I don't like that. I can't be in this situation. Maybe these are things we need to work on, finding the deep root of, figuring out why we feel like this, what triggers it. It may even be a past life situation that you're dealing with, that you really battle to cope with, and you literally cannot stand the thought of having to be in that situation or deal with that. This is something that we need to look at very deeply, and a lot of the time these things are rooted in the past. They can't actually affect us anymore, but we allow them to affect us and debilitate us and take away some of our power because we have a fear response to them. And the only way to overcome fear is through showing love to that situation, maybe compassion for yourself again, and say, you know what, I did feel afraid at that time, but is it realistic for me to maybe still be afraid of that? Has my life changed where I don't actually have these things that are there threatening me, or I'm not at risk of this anymore? And I'm just holding on to it because it's become a habitual toxic pattern in my life. Okay, so think about the phobias. What else? What other attributes of our lives are focused now, please? What areas come into focus right now? Trust and faith. Okay, this is a very important one for me. It's something that we actually do face and are affected by and comes up in our lives every single day. We have to have trust in certain things and faith in certain things. Sometimes we really battle to have that trust and that faith. And we might be in a difficult place in our lives right now where we really need to tap into that, where we're uncertain about what's going to happen next. We are having this pandemic at the moment, and some people really do lose their faith and they don't trust in the process. They don't trust that everything will be okay. They don't trust anybody around them. All right. And even with the phobias issue, if you have trust and faith that this can be sorted out and you ask for help with it, you might be able to overcome this phobia. So this is about your trust and your faith being restored. Maybe you need to pay attention more to your spiritual practices or your faith to tap into that. Maybe it's a good time if you have the time to do it now, and it's something that you need to get back to. Or you're in a situation right now where you just have to have the faith. You have to have that trust. You have to say, okay, let go and let God. You know that saying, no matter what your spiritual or religious persuasion is, you know what is meant by that. Even if that is your belief system or not. Sometimes you just need to not hold on so tight to things. You need to let go. You need to have some trust. You need to have some faith. So if you've got something that calls for this right now, this is a very important message. You need to have faith that there are your guides and your guardians and the energies around you that can help you, that do have your best interest at heart. And sometimes we don't understand the process or why things are happening the way they are happening, but they all happen for good reason, and we only seen that in hindsight. So try to trust what you are being led to do. Follow your instincts. What feels right is right. What feels wrong is wrong. If you've been getting repetitive signs, follow them. See where it leads you and have a little bit of trust, because it may just pay off in the long run. Okay, let's see what else. Let me do one more here. What other areas of our lives do we need to focus on, please? I almost felt like this wanted to pop out, but let me try again. Whoops. Oh, we've got two. Health. All right, I think for everybody this has been a bit of a focus. Everybody's been trying to improve their health, I do believe, or I hope. People have been trying to focus on, boosting your immune system, all of this stuff, because everything that's been going on. But at the same time, I think in retrospect, we've also, some of us, been staying at home, eating all the junk food, just like there's nothing else to do, so we open the fridge because we're bored. Maybe that kind of thing, and it's really not paying off. So health really comes up for us here, and maybe there's something that you need to pay attention to. We also need to know that the things that we worry about, worry in itself is really bad for us. It can cause pain and dis-ease in our bodies. It can cause tension in our bodies. So this is something you really need to take care of. If you can fix your mind and you can fix your mindset, it often heals the body as well. Okay, whatever this means for you at the moment, this is a message about your health. If you've been ignoring it and there's something that you keep pushing to the side and thinking, oh, well, tomorrow, or this is nagging at me, but I'm not doing anything about it, then maybe this is a message for you that, hey, we're trying to give you the signs, but you're not paying attention here. Okay, I'm going to take this fourth card. Wars and battles. Okay, I know that this is actually literally happening in certain parts of the world, that there are wars and battles going on, some of it as a result of the whole COVID-19 coronavirus thing, but also this can happen on smaller scales where we are at war or having battles with people in our home, in the family environment, maybe having a battle with yourself. But this is highlighted at the moment as well. So whatever you're involved in with regards to this, I do feel that also the trust and the faith card needs to be taken note of here. And you need to call on those that can help you through this at this time. Okay, with whatever war it is, you could be fighting a battle with your weight. You could be fighting a battle with your brother or your sister, or just having, disruption in the home because you've all been locked away together for too long. You could be literally somebody who is involved in war and battle, or, a victim of a situation where there's battle going on around you. So these things are being highlighted right now. Your health, the phobias, fear-related things. Okay, and this is saying to me, anything that you have fear with, you need to have trust and faith, and you need to ask for this to be healed or released, or whatever the case is. And you need to overcome these wars and these battles. If there's nothing you can do to affect it, then have trust and have faith that it will sort itself out. If there's nothing you can physically do about it, you need to make peace with that, because there are higher energies that will orchestrate it and take care of it. Okay, thank you. I'm going to now ask the Earth Magic Oracle cards. I nearly had a blank moment there for what they're called. I've got two different ones that are named very similarly. Earth Magic Oracle. I'm going to ask what energies can come in that can be beneficial or advantageous to us right now, that we can use to make the most of this new moon. All right. So, what can we do to make the most of this new moon, please? There it goes. And you're not going to believe it. New moon. Okay, promise. This is very interesting. I feel like this really does relate to romantic relationships. I don't really feel that often with this card, but here you see romantic relationships or some kind of connection that there is here. It could be a brother and a sister, it could be a really close friend, it could be somebody else that you have a really strong bond with. And I feel that this has got to do with something that you have literally promised to somebody, or something you've promised to yourself. This is about keeping your word. and doing the right thing with integrity. And also people who have made a promise or are feeling obliged to do something where this is not something that will serve them or is not coming from a good place from the other party. So, what I'm trying to say here is that you need to reassess any commitments or promises that you've made right now, and you need to see which ones you need to let go of, which ones are not in your favor or where you are being taken advantage of or abused, and you need to reassess your priorities. What are you or are you not committed to? And what should you not be committed to? What are you loyal to, or who are you loyal to, where your loyalty is actually misguided or misplaced? Okay, maybe this is also what the wars and battles is about, perhaps. But I feel like this is reassess your priorities, reassess commitments and promises you've made, and see if they're still warranted. Is the other person still keeping the end of the bargain? Or have you not done something that you did tell somebody you would do? Have you not kept a promise when you gave your word to do something? This is about integrity, and this is about, um, like I said, misplaced energy, giving too much of yourself to somebody who's not in a place of appreciation for it, or really couldn't care less, and you're just being sapped of your energy. Reassess your priorities. Okay, and this is the time to do it. The new moon is the clean slate. This is the closing of the cycles. This is you wiping the blackboard clean so that you can write something new. So rub that promise out if it's misguided, and be sure to keep your word if you've promised to do something and if that is still valid. All right. Okay, thank you. What's next? What else do we need to know or do right now? Purification. This is just like I was saying, wipe the blackboard clean. This is for us to purify ourselves, maybe with regards to the health, even the trust and faith. If you need to go and sit in church or go and do a ritual or, light a candle for yourself, whatever it is, or go into a meditation, bring this purification in now. Know that there's this clean slate. This is the rain. It washes clean. It falls down and cleans everything, rinses it off. Get into a shower even and do that. Use that visualization to rinse everything off of you and say, I embody this energy. I'm going to start with a clean slate. I'm going to move in a new direction. I'm washing off everything that no longer serves me. All right, so this purification is maybe your body. Maybe you need to do a detox as well. And we need to wash away the old so that the new can come in. Okay, we need to embrace this versatility, this adaptability, this diversity that we're supposed to be opening up to right now. So purify, clean out everything that does not serve you, get rid of anything that you are stuck with as well, because tonight is very changeable, adaptable energy. If you've been stuck in something and you are stubborn about it and it's not serving you, but you're holding on to it, let it go. Wash it off. Purify. If you're doing it because you've been conditioned to think that it's the right thing to do, but you know otherwise, let it go. Get rid of it. All right. What else do we need to know or do this new moon, please? Oh, I just spoke about it. When I said about the trust and faith, this is ceremony, invocation. Okay, so even if you're not religious, you can just go and light a candle for yourself. Say, this is my intention. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to get rid of. This is what I want for myself, and put it out there. You don't need to do anything fancy. You don't need to, go the extra mile. I know we also can't, a lot of people cannot go to the places where they usually practice their religion. So going to church or going to temple or whatever is not a reality for you right now, perhaps. But find a little sacred space for yourself. Even if it's in, I laughed at a friend of mine the other day. She told me the only way she gets peace is to hide in the pantry for a couple of minutes. And if that's what you need to do, do that. But find that place where you can have that little bit of ceremony, that little bit of time alone, where it's just you and spirit, or you and your spirit guides, or God, or the universe, whatever works for you. But have that moment and say, okay, I'm being mindful of the energy that's around me right now. I'm being mindful of the fact that I can be creative. I can bring something new into my life. I can let go of what no longer serves me. I can let go and have the faith that something else that is better is going to replace this. Okay, so say a little prayer or light a candle and put it out there. Put out your intention, what you want to get rid of and what you want to bring into your life. And your words are powerful. Say it out loud if you can. Otherwise, just say it with conviction, with strong intent, because that's when it works best. Okay, let's do one more. What else do we need to do or know tonight, please? Earth magic. This is so interesting. I've got a woman I'm busy with right now. You know who you are if you're watching this. That this card comes up. This is so interesting. Earth magic. Okay, we were talking about this too. If she sees this video, she's going to laugh. All right, so for me, earth magic is a huge part of getting rid of negative energy and bringing in positive energy. And like I was telling you about the rain card, the purification, where you can let the water rush down on you and it's cleansing and purifying. This is about using the elements and using earth magic, letting the wind blow through you, and you imagine that you're made of like a kind of a, what is it called? Like a netting, okay? And all the junk, all the debris, all the stuff you've held onto for years and years, the wind can blow through you and it can take all of this junk away. All right? And you stand like this fairy is standing right now. Take it all in. Stand underneath the sun and let the sun's rays envelop your body. Let them make your light shine from within. All right? Tap into that. Tap into the energy sources that are there. There is wind energy, there's solar energy, there's water energy. We know all of these things. Fire causes energy. Why do we forget that this can provide energy for us, that we can tap into it? We can use it to cleanse. Water is cleansing, air is cleansing, fire is cleansing. You know, we can tap into all these elements and we can use them. So here she's looking up at what looks like the moon's rays. And you can do this when it's full moon as well. Unfortunately, not tonight, but on full moons, it's really lovely to do that. Soak it in. Soak in the sun's rays. Let the wind blow through you like you're made of some kind of a grid, and it's loosening all of those pieces and blowing right through you and cleansing. And at the same time, you can tap into that wind's energy that it energizes your body. You can feel it. You can feel it swirling around you. Pick up on that kinetic energy and use it. It is so important. We don't have to feel depleted all the time. These elements are there to rejuvenate us and re-energize us, and they're there just for us to be mindful of them. So we can really tap into it and draw from it. And like I said, with water, wind, fire, air, whatever it is you need to do, earth, when you sit and you ground yourself, that's vitally, vitally important. Get outside. Be mindful of the elements. Look around you. See the wind blowing through the trees. Hear the water. Okay, and fire as well. When I talked about ceremony and invocation, lighting a candle is getting in touch with the elements. Lighting incense is air. Okay, so do something like that. Get yourself some beautiful incense that smells lovely, something that gives a sweet aroma that you are happy with. If you like sweet, if you like spicy, get something that talks to your senses and embrace these kind of things. Okay, use the earth magic because it is actually there. Tap into anything that means earth magic to you. Whether you work with crystals, whether you work with any kind of spiritual stuff, tap into that now. All right, even if you sit with a crystal that you feel you need to meditate with, if you want to put rose quartz nearby, you see I've got my clear quartz here. It reminded me of the moon tonight. But I've got my clear quartz crystal ball here, and it's just beautiful. And it reminds me of the moon. It reminds me to keep my intentions, keep things clear, keep them in perspective, and when we're going through tough times, to just keep it all together. And reminds me that there are these energies around, okay, and I can tap into them, and they are beautiful and they feel good to be around. And this quartz amplifies anything that you're busy doing when you work with crystals. Clear quartz amplifies anything. Okay, you'll see tonight as well when I do my energy work, there's going to be a lot of crystals involved, because I was called to use earth magic today. Okay, so tap into those things if you use them. If you're not into crystals and you think it's a bunch of hooey, that's fine, but the wind's not a bunch of hooey. So stand outside and let it blow through you and blow away all the debris, all the junk, and let it blow wind into you to energize your body. Okay, I think I am going to end with Spirit Oracle, as we always do, because I feel like this has given us information as well as action that we can take. So, let's see what the Earth, no, Spirit Oracle has to say. This always gives beautiful advice, and they're just so unusual and so lovely. So I always try to use them as much as possible. Even in my individual readings for clients, I often pull them as like a last little bit of wisdom that comes through. Okay, so what messages does the Spirit Oracle have for us this evening, please, for the new moon in Gemini? This may be for specific people as well, so if it doesn't speak to you, don't worry. I'm sure something here did, but there might sometimes be very specific messages that come through here for somebody. I was looking away and I don't know if that fell down there somewhere. I think it's this one here. Okay, well, no, I've still got it. I'm sure you guys saw, but I wasn't looking. Okay, what do we need to know, or what messages are coming through tonight, please? I've just been told that I need to pick 5. So here I go again, guys. I'm trying to catch the cards. Do you really have to do this to me? Okay. Innocence. It says innocence, purity, joy. You're being encouraged to just be you. You are a light of joy in this world. Expect positive outcomes to flow from your honesty and pure intentions. We spoke about the honesty and pure intentions a little bit earlier, hey? Ironically, when I cleanse with incense and I cleanse my crystals, I say, spirit of air, breath of life, bring purity, bring joy. And here it said, innocence, purity, and joy. You're being encouraged to just be you. You are a light of joy in this world. Expect positive outcomes to flow from your honesty and your pure intentions. Okay, integrity is very big. It's a very big part of our lives, and we've lost it over the past couple of decades especially. And I can tell you now, as a little warning, if you do not do what you do with integrity, you are going to be caught out and you're going to come short. Because the energies, the fundamental energies are changing, and the energies of corruption and misleading people and dishonesty are going out. And then if you're not careful and you're not working with integrity, things are not going to go very well for you. Okay, responsibility. Do what feels right for you above all else. Okay, again, this promise card where I said some of the things, like maybe the promises you're keeping to people or the things you do for people, you're being taken advantage of, or maybe an idol that you have in your life or someone you look up to is no longer worthy of that. Reassess the promises that you've made and the things that you're doing for people, and see where you're overextending yourself, where it's not fair to you. Okay, it says here, I'm reading it as it says it there. Do what feels right for you above all else. It is impossible to please all parties in the present situation. You have responsibility only for your own life and actions. Others may take responsibility for themselves. Okay, I'm sure that speaks to a lot of people here. Maybe that's what the wars and battles are about. Okay, what else do we need to know? What other messages are coming through, please? Whoops. I'm only going to take this one. Okay, emotions. You are awash with unexpressed emotions. Say exactly what you feel. It is safe for you to speak your truth. Can you read there? You are awash with unexpressed emotions. Say exactly what you feel. It is safe for you to speak your truth. Okay. They're all purple. This is all like the color of spirit, which I really love. Purple, purple, purple everywhere. I will post a photograph of this spread on the Instagram page a little bit later. I will take a photograph of this because it looks really lovely, so look out for it. Okay, I'm going to have two more, but one at a time, please. I have the number 5 in my head for some reason. I have to pick 5 of these. What other messages need to come through tonight, please? Oh, this is lovely. Angel over me. Protection card. This is the protection card. It says angel wings surround you. Trust. Okay, let me just show you that this does actually say this here. Protection card. Angel wings surround you. Trust. Replace fear with love. I think I actually said that earlier. You are eternally held safe within the arms of an angel. Here is your trust and faith card. And there's the word trust. Okay, it also says here, replace fear with love. Get rid of these phobias. Maybe you have a phobia of even speaking in public or speaking to people, or you want to deal with a family issue and you've never had the guts to have that conversation with this person. Know that you are protected, okay? You are eternally held safe within the arms of an angel. Trust and replace fear with love. That is the key to everything. To any dangerous or scary situation you ever find yourself in, replace fear with love. See how you can appropriate that, because it works every time. But it does take guts. Okay, last one tonight, please. What else do we need to know, or what message is there for somebody that's watching? One card, please.